two disciplines of seeking I. In a jiva, being, there is an amsa, element of the conscious God, and an amsa, of the inert nature, prakriti. By the dominance of the conscious part, one seeks God, and by the dominance of the inert part, he desires the world. Between these two, the yearning for God could be satisfied, but the desires of the world are never fulfilled. Some worldly desires seemingly fulfilled are never satiated, but owing to worldly attachment, ever new desires arise. In fact, the satisfaction of worldly desires or achievement of worldly objects is not within the authority of desire but is subject to karma. God realization is not under the power of karma, and it is attained by the intense longing of one's own self. Its reason is that each karma act has a beginning and an end. So the result too is bound to have a beginning and an end. How can then a beginningless and endless God be realized? By karmas which are origin and end bound. But seekers have often understood that as the worldly objects are achieved by the predominance of activities, so also the realization of God would be achievable through the dominance of activity. As the assistance of body, senses, mind, and intellect has to be taken in achieving the objects of the world, so also in God realization, the assistance of body, senses, mind, intellect will have to be. Sadhaka Sanjeevani 17, called for, they argue. Therefore, such seekers practice spiritual discipline erroneously with the help of their inert body, etc., to realize God. By practicing the yoga of meditation for a long time, i.e., gradually fixing one's mind on God, when the citta, mind, gets controlled, having no worldly attachment and being incapable of realizing God due to inertness, it becomes unconcerned with the world. On the citta, mind, becoming unconcerned, the seeker becomes completely cut off from the mind or inertness, and he gains experience of Godhead automatically. Gita 6.20. But a seeker who, having accepted his axiomatic and eternal unison with God from the beginning without accepting in the least his kinship with inert matter, traverses the course of his discipline, he experiences the supreme tattva essence early and with ease. Thus, for seekers who wish to realize God, there are two disciplines or ways of seeking him. The discipline in which there remains dominance of antakarana, the inner faculty, i.e., wherein a seeker observes discipline with the assistance of matter, which goes by the name of katana sapexasali, discipline, aided by the inner faculty. The second discipline in which the seeker from the very beginning follows the discipline by himself without the assistance of matter is called karana, nirapeksa sur, discipline unaided by the inner faculty. God realization in both these disciplines takes place only by katana, nirapeksata, i.e., by one's own self after a complete breach with matter. Realization via katana sapeksa sur comes very late, whereas it happens immediately through katana nirapeksa ssnr. There are four main differences between these two disciplines of seeking God. I, assistance of matter, body, senses, mind, intellect, has to 18 Srimad Bhagavad be taken in the Karana Sapeksa ssnr, but no such assistance is necessary in the Karana Nirapeksa sur. Instead, the assumed relationship with matter is to be sundered or broken up. 2. There is creation of a new state of mind in the Karana Sapeksa ssnr, but there is realization after breach with all states of mind in the Karana Nirapeksa sur. 3. There is, in the discipline aided by the instrument, Karana Sapeksa 8a3, an acquisition of occult powers, cities. But, in the discipline unaided by the instrument, Karana Nirapeksa Sali, there is a direct and intuitive experience of reality on severance of relationship with matter. Asterisk. For God realization in the discipline aided by the inner faculty is never immediate, but in the discipline unaided by the instrument God realization, city, is immediate as soon as a breach with matter is complete, either after surrendering to God or on being established in the self. In the Yagadarsana of Patanjali, importance is given to discipline aided by the Antakarana in the realization of yoga, but in the Gita, importance is attached only to discipline unaided by the faculty in the realization of yoga. It is all right.